Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the geek shit. This is not being covered on Radiance Radio for a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons is that this has nothing to do with Radiance Radio. This has to do with something that Microsoft did and they can't undo. So let's get into this. For what I've noticed, way back in the Windows XP, even the Windows 98 days, this player right here existed. Windows Media Player, it has existed ever since Windows 98. Everybody and their mother knows this program. They know how to use it. They love it. It's been around for so long. Why get rid of it? The only time that Windows Media Player did not exist was during Windows 98. And the reason being was that Windows 98 was designed as a touchscreen operating system. Everything had to be made for fingers to touch it. Now, a mouse pointer can touch this. A finger cannot. So, this is perfect for mouse pointers. This is perfect for fingers. So, again, touchscreen, non-touchscreen. This should not be legacy. This should be the main player. This should not exist. This should have been disbanded along with Windows 98. Naturally, Microsoft has to do things the hard way. To make things worse, the next update or the next operating system, whatever's first, this is going to disappear. This whole player is going to disappear, and this is going to take its place. Why? I don't know. I don't know why. All I know is that everybody and their mother loves this player for what it is. This player does its job and does it well. This program, you can burn CDs. Organize your music, watch videos, look at pictures. Yes, you can even browse all the pictures in your computer through this program. It is not just a music player, it's a media player. Every picture that you own can be viewed from this. Also, the media, the other type of media that's not labeled as music, pictures, or video, anything that's unknown would show up as other media. Anything you might not know what it is or what it's doing there that's probably being used for a program would be in other media. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to know what any of this stuff is, and I wouldn't touch it. Other libraries is for like online libraries. If you have anything in the cloud, that's what the other libraries is used for. Now, keep in mind, this was first created during the Windows XP era, and then it was updated for Windows 98, and then it was updated for Windows XP, and then they further updated it in the next operating system. And every operating system after that, it got a slight update. The downfall of Windows Media Player was Windows 8. Now, Windows Windows 7 was when Windows Media Player was at its peak. When Windows 8 came out, Windows Media Player did not exist. People were forced to use this. And nobody got used to this. They hated it. They hated it so much that they bitched, moaned, whined, and complained that this sucks. We hate it. We refuse to use it. We want the old one back. So, when the next operating system came out, but it came out as Windows Media Player Legacy. And it's been like this ever since. It's been still here, but they refuse to update it. They refuse to do anything with it. The only thing they're doing with this is they're keeping new media formats, keeping it updated with new media formats. That's it. They're not doing any updates with this thing at all. Only security patches. That's it. You could still do everything you used to with this thing. There's not touching this at all. It will forever be Windows Media Player Legacy. Except what I'm thinking is Media Player and Legacy are both in the same program as of right now. You know what this means, right? If they're putting two of the same program in the same operating system, this is to appease all the people who have been bitching and complaining. And this is what they want to do. They want to go with this. They want to get rid of this. If they get rid of this, everybody and their mother is going to have to use this when Windows 12 comes out. Be prepared. This will be the only media player as of Windows 12. And I'm guaranteeing you, everybody's going to hate it. Radiance Radio Online already hates it because their radio station depends on Windows Media Player for their to keep their players working. Because Windows Media Player offers a plugin that can use their player as a backup. And when Windows Media Player Legacy goes away, that plugin stops working. So they're going to have some serious problems. They're going to have some serious problems on their hands pretty soon. But I'm working with them, and I'm trying to help them convince some of the people to make it on their own. Try to figure out a way to get media to play without needing their plugin. Use other plugins, but don't depend on the Windows plugin anymore. Have an alternative way to listen. Because if you're depending on Windows Media Player Legacy, it's not going to be around. This is going to be the future. And if this is the future, we're all screwed. We're all majorly screwed. See? This is going to be the new media player moving forward. And this is the worst media player I have ever seen in my entire life. This media player sucked in Windows 98. People hated it and demanded they get rid of it. They had the audacity to bring it back for Windows 11. people bitched and moaned and brought back the legacy player, and everyone's been using the legacy player. Now they said they're permanently retiring the legacy player and leaving the media player as primary and only. So now where does that leave us? That leaves us screwed beyond belief. But there is hope. Windows Media Player Legacy had so much going for it. It was able to do so much. The legacy player was able to make playlists, which means you were able to listen to other playlists. Now, playlist meaning songs that you compilation and save it as a playlist. Then you could drag said playlist to like an MP3 player or something like that. Or if someone gives you a playlist, like Radio Online, drag it to the playlist and click this, click play, and it plays the playlist. That's it. Easy. So anybody has an online radio station, all you have to do is save the playlist, drag it to the playlist window, right here. Click play, click the playlist, click play, and it plays. Done. This is the legacy player. Now the real media player cannot do this. It does not have the ability to do this. Legacy does. The new one does not. Music. They already see, look, they're slowing it down. They're purposely making it not work. See what they're doing? They're purposely making this not work so that people get frustrated and use the other one. Just have patience, let it do its thing. The more they slow it down, the more you use it. They're slowing this, they're going to slow this program down on purpose so that people stop using it. If people stop using it, they can remove it altogether. My suggestion to you is never use the media player ever. Only use Legacy. Only use Legacy. Use it exclusively for everything. Online streaming playlists, music organization, adding album art, videos. You can watch videos on here. You can watch DVD movies. Back in the Windows, I'm trying to think where DVD movies were first introduced for. Back in Windows 7, I think Windows 7. Windows Media Player, the legacy Windows Media Player, this version, introduced DVDs. You put a DVD in your DVD drive and actually watch a DVD movie. Now, this legacy version, it might do that. That would be under other media. That would be under here. Okay? It would say Drive D, DVD movie. Click the DVD movie, click play, and it'll start to play. And that's it. This thing can play DVDs. As long as you have the drive plugged in, this can play DVDs. Dead serious. This has the ability to save a movie to the hard drive and watch it like it's nothing. You can do that. That's what these are. These are movies. All these are movies. I have lots of movies saved on here. In fact, I have one somebody gave me. So, I mean, it's amazing. For example, here's one that I got from... my head's in the way. Hold on. See that one right there? That one right there, I got that from Wargaming. They gave that to me as a gift. For the 15 years I spent playing this game, they gave that to me as a gift for the 15 years of work I put in this game. So I'm honored that they made that for me, and I'm really happy with it. What I'm really happy about is the fact that I can leave it on my computer and watch it whenever I want to. The one thing I will give to the new media player is that the way movies are viewed in the new media player is a little bit different than the old one. Let me show you guys something. I'll show you the beginning. This is the old Windows Media Player. Now, the old Windows Media Player, this is what videos look like. Okay. You have your shuffle, repeat, stop, reverse, forward, play, volume, elapsed time, and full screen mode. This moves to library mode. Now we're going to go to the other media player. We're going to play the same video, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like to play a video on this player. You tell me which media player is better. You tell me in the comments below, based off of me showing you the same video for both players. You tell me in the comments below which media player you prefer more. Watch this. Now this is a movie. This is not audio. This is a movie. You have a few features here. This has language and subtitles. The volume control is down here. Full screen mode. A mini player mode. Some other shit here. For movies, this is actually fairly good. I will give it that. This plays movies very well. It had to, because the Windows 8 was geared around movies. It was geared around touchscreen and movies. So this is what the media player was made for. Now let me show you what the media player was never made for. Now I'm going to show you guys what the media player was not made for. Let's see, where's Windows Media Player? Legacy. Oh man, I closed them both out. Yeah, I did. Oh, futz. Yeah, I did. I closed them both out. Oh, shit. Hold on. Now we're going to go into Media Player. And we're going to go into Audio. I'm going to find the same song Finding music is very confusing with Windows Media Player. It's very confusing. I hate this. This is so confusing. It's made to touch. This media player was made for fingers to go, I want to listen to play that. Touch. 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 That's what this player was made for. This player is made for touch screens. It was not made for listing. Now, all the information has to index itself as soon as you do that. Windows Media Player Legacy has everything saved, preset, so you don't have to index anything. If you want to update the library, you click Update Library and it'll update everything. I mean, it really sucks. Okay, we're going to play... I can't play music because... Well, I'm going to explain why you can't play any music. YouTube has a thing where they don't really like music being played. So I'm going to try and find something that I don't have to worry about being smacked in the face with. So I'm going to look and I'm going to try and find something that I don't have to worry about. See, now, finding music in this program is very frustrating because you can't actually just type and search. And nothing's organized. It just throws... See, Windows Media Player Legacy tosses all the music in and says, okay, what's a double? Whatever's a double is not in here. It only shows you guys what music you have that's different. Okay? So you may see seven of the same songs are right here. See that? You may see 7 of the same songs right here. You will not see that in the Legacy version. Because here they show you all the music you have. In the Legacy version, it only shows you music that's different. If the song is a different song, it will show the same name. That means you have it labeled wrong. This version does not do that. So that's a problem. But this is going to be the future, so you better get used to it. So moving forward, Windows no longer has any decent media coverage at all. Now, if I can make a suggestion moving forward, when Windows Media Player Legacy falls apart, I'm going to make a suggestion for some really decent players that can take the place of Windows Media Player. I'm going to show you guys a couple of contenders. The first contender that I highly suggest replacing is, let's see if I can find it. Can I find it? Is it here? Maybe. No, I have to go searching for it. Okay, the first contender that I can suggest is, where is it? There we go. Here's our first contender that I suggest. Instead of using Windows Media Player, might I suggest you use this. It's called Music Bee. I've done a video on this with Radiance Radio, but this one's going to be different. Radiance Radio, I only told you guys how to add Radiance Radio to it. If you want to see that video, go to the Radiance Radio playlist and look for Music B in the Radiance Radio playlist. Or go to the Radiance Radio 2026 update video. And that will explain to you guys how to add streams to here. Anyway, getting into the main uses of Music B. The main uses of Music B albums, click album or the artist, it tells you the songs you own and how many of them. Or if they're duplicates, you can go in there, then you can go into the file and delete the duplicates. Now, because it doesn't have album art, that's fun and good, you know? It doesn't have album art because I removed it because I added a virtual DJ program to Radiance Radio online. Therefore, the album art didn't need to be saved onto the file anymore. So, instead of adding album art to save the file, okay, here we go. This is not copyrighted, so I will play this. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, apparently you can't find it. So we're just going to move on. There must be something wrong with it. It's a sound effect, by the way. I created some sound effects here and there, and for some reason, it just, I don't know. Okay, here we go. We have artist, year, music type, and all the songs you have for that artist are all listed here. Now it has, this is the artist. This is the albums. This is their 4 album. Life from the Fall, Disc 1. Life from the Fall, Disc 2. Again, same artists. I have Runaround. I have their 4 album again. No, their Runaround album was their 2nd album. Runaround was a song that was on that 4 album. This was the Runaround album. There was an album with that said Runaround. That's what this was. How do I know this? Because there are songs on the 4 album that are not here. Save His Soul. That was a really old album of theirs. Album cover had a young child on the cover. This was a very, very good album. Of course, all the music is here. See, it even says disc 1. If there's 2 discs, it'll say disc. It'll have songs, then say disc whatever, and then list more songs. Straight On Till Morning, another album. I never put songs. I never had internet when I burned the. I long time ago, I use Windows Media Player Legacy to burn all my CDs onto my computer. Now, because I didn't have internet at the time, I burned the songs to my computer, did not have internet, so the CD was unable to pull all the information from the CD because it didn't have internet to identify the CD. Now, in order for the music player to identify the CD, it needs internet. Whenever you put a CD into your computer, your media player needs to be connected to the internet in order to identify what you're listening to before you play it. If you do not have internet, it's just going to say track 1, track 2, track 3. If you save it like that, it's going to show up track 1, track 2, track 3, just like this. Now, if you burn a CD with internet, it will look like this. Album title, information, song names, track names, disc names. Cover art will not be there. They will never give you the cover art. You will have to retrieve the cover art on your own from the internet. CDs cannot save cover arts to the discs. There's not enough data there's not enough data space on the data line on a CD. Enough space to put a JPEG. So there's just not enough space. It's like the amount of space is like 129 kilobytes. It's really not a lot. It's a tiny little line on the inside of the CD. It's like one single line on the inside of the CD. It's right before the actual CD starts. When you had the old CD players and you put a disc in, you heard that spin-off, that initial spin-off, you heard the CD player go, it made that whooshing sound. Well, the CD's whooshing sound is the CD reading that line. It's reading the data on that line, trying to pull the information from that data, from that line. But because the player has no way of retrieving it, it tries to retrieve the information from that line. As soon as you push play, it says track 1. Why? Because the player cannot receive the information because it doesn't have any access to the internet. Compact discs do not have, all compact discs do not have any names or information saved to the disc. Nothing but the music is saved to the disc. If you want to retrieve the information, you have to have internet available in order to retrieve the information from the CD. As soon as you put the CD in the computer spins off the CD. As soon as it spins off that track before the first track, checks for internet. You have internet. Then you sit there with Windows Media Player Legacy. You had to select something and say you had to select something specific, and it automatically popped up this, and all this. Now, if you wanted this was a lot of work on Windows Media Player Legacy. This was more work than it was worth. To be honest with you, every time you save this, it never saves it to the file. It saves it to the player. So if you put all album covers on Windows Media Player and you listen to music on MusicBee, everything will be there except for the album cover. album cover will still be in your pictures folder. Why? Because Microsoft Windows cannot save album covers. They will not do that. I don't know why. Microsoft Windows, for some reason, will not save album covers. The players themselves will save that album cover that you downloaded for that album. And when you transfer that song or that album to another program, the music, the titles, and all the information will go. Album cover will stay where it is. Why? I don't know. Then you have to attach the album cover to that program. It's a pain in the ass. Eventually, after a while, you just sit there and go, screw it, it's not worth it. I'm done. Hence the reason why I stopped using the program we were using on Raiders Radio Online, because that program required them to attach album cover to each and every song that we had, and they have approximately 685,000 songs in total. So to attach album covers to that many songs is ridiculous. So anyway, you have tons and tons of music, and none of them with album covers. But every single one of them that has information that I got from the internet. See now, these songs, this album right here was downloaded, I put my CD in the CD drive. I did not have internet at the time. I ripped the CD onto the hard drive, okay, just so I could back up the CD before it got scratched. Now, by doing so, I saved the music, but now I don't know what this is, because it all says unknown, unknown. I saved this information here because I thought it was either Bon Jovi or Guns N' Roses. So I knew it was either one or the other, so I figured Bon Jovi and Guns N' Roses. So I figured one day I'll go through and I'll separate all of them. One day I'll go through and separate all of them and I'll make it all look nice. So that's what I did. You do what you have to do. Now, there is times where you have stuff like this. You have no albums. You have a name of a song that you put in yourself. You typed it in yourself. You don't have an artist. So you have no album, no artist. You have a name of the song. This is a problem. So that you have to all type in yourself. I mean, yeah, this sucks. But you know what? This is all stuff, you take your time, you type it all in. Here's where I have a problem. Check this. Music B, you can do that with this program. You can change the names of the songs, change the albums, change the artists. Here's the problem. Sometimes it can't find the song. So this is the thing with media players that are not Microsoft based. Media players that are not Microsoft based have the problem of finding the songs. So each song has to be located specifically. It'll show you everything you have, but you won't be able to play it until you locate it. And that sucks. Why? Because the program needs to search the whole hard drive all over again, see if you made any changes. Every time you make changes to those songs, you have to research the drive all over again. So the problem with Music B is that I don't exactly know how to do that. I know there's a way to search, but figuring out how to do that, to add files to the library, scan folders for new files. See that right there? Scan folders for new files. See, now programs like this are hard because you have to figure out where the music is, and you select a folder to put it in, select a folder to scan to. It's not as easy as Windows Media Player Legacy was so much easier. Although this is very, very good, it's confusing, to say the least. Because you have to constantly be scanning and updating. When Windows Media Player Legacy automatically updated itself. If there's any changes, it lets you know when there's changes. So if there's any changes to the music at all, Windows Media Player Legacy will adapt to the changes automatically. Programs like this are not Windows-based programs, so they have no right to do that. So you have to rescan everything from scratch. Otherwise, all this stuff, yes, it is accurate, but it's not up to date. See that symbol right there? That means that song is missing. Okay, guys? That means you have to find that song all over again, or scan the entire drive all over again. That sucks. That really does suck. This program is amazing. This program does everything. But there is a couple of stuff with programs that are not Windows based that I don't like. And this is one of them. But the one thing I do like about this, and I will explain to you guys, I've always liked the fact that you can listen to Radiance Radio Online by simply clicking the track right there and listen to live music.
Thank you for listening to Radiance Radio Live.
Listen to it whenever you want to. As soon as you save Radiance Radio Online to Music B, it's there. All you have to do is click that playlist, push play, and it just plays. Click Now Playing. It'll show you what's playing. This program may not be the best in the world for music, but for streaming audio, this program has always been the best. Highly recommend this program. If you have any streaming audio from anybody, this is perfect. I highly recommend this for streaming audio. Now, it's providing information based off of contextual data from the actual, if the person actually used real media, for example, if they use a compact disc, a vinyl record, or if they got it from a cassette tape. That cassette tape had, remember that first track I told you about, what the information was? If that existed, if that unknown first track existed, it pulled that information off that track and was able to make this based off of that track. It goes online on the internet and pulls that information, which you can see right there. See his Everly Brothers Bird Dog? See that right there? That number right there is the number code that every song has to have in order to get the information to be pulled up. Every song from every artist has a code. And that code is what pops up all this information. Every song has a code. Now that unknown track that you can't listen to, that's what's on that track, is a code. And that code on that track pulls up all this information, including the picture. All this. Music B is the only program that takes advantage of this. That's how you know whether a song is from real media or not. When you see this, something like this, that means they did not jack it. It was not illegal. It was illegal. This song they're listening to was taken from real media. That's how you know. Because when you see information like this pop up, this is all legal stuff. Interesting. I found this out recently. I had left an email with Music Bee, and I asked them, I said, where do you get this information from? Because I had to find a lot of the information from my music based off of the music I knew and from my connections. And they told me, and I said, I didn't think there was that much on that track. They said, there's more on that track than you realize. I was, really? I said, yep. You have to have a program that's able to access it. Microsoft does not have that. Music B does. But if you put a song on Music B, save it, it will do the same, but it might lose the track information once in a while, and you have to scan the whole hard drive all over again and redo all the music. Why? Because Microsoft did not make this program. Because Microsoft did not make this program, it has to rescan the drive all over again, search for the music, and that sucks. It really sucks. Of course, the information will be back, but you have to rescan the whole hard drive all over again. Again, this is the type of stuff that really ticks people off about Microsoft. They don't make things easy. I don't know why they don't make things easy, but they just don't. They just choose not to. So, and that's okay. That's their prerogative. They want to do that, fine. That's totally fine. That's fine. Okay, now I'm going to go to an old friend of mine. I did a video on this for Radiance Radio Online. You might remember this from mid to early 90s. This program existed solely to replace Windows Media Player. And this, at one point, was doing a damn good job of it. Because this program can do everything. Podcasts, online services, bookmarks, any devices you have plugged in, access to Fan Zone. I'm not exactly sure what Fan Zone is, but Hot Mix Radio. This is another thing. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to put Radiance Radio on here and just click it and listen. They're working on it, but in the meantime, we have a little save diode that you can just click and save the playlist. So, for now, they have their little thing saved on our website. All you have to do is click it and it'll save a playlist called Winamp. Click this playlist, click play, and Radiance Radio Online will play right there. All set. That's it. See? Radiance Radio. Right there. Done. All you have to do is come back, listen, click that. Done. Winamp, in my opinion, is better than Windows Media Player Legacy will ever be. Period. If you want saved songs to your computer, use Music B. Music B is very good at organizing songs. But you have to, in order for it to know what songs you have to download the songs with Music B. If you use another program, Music B might get confused and you have to scan the whole drive again. But if you pull songs from Music B will forever know those songs and what they are and where they belong. Music B is meant to be a music organizer. That's all it's meant to do. Of course, it can list the music like a boss, but it's really meant for organizing your music. Winamp is only made for listening to music. It's not meant to hold your music library, not meant to organize it. It's only meant to listen. Now with Winamp, you could also put a CD in your drive that I have right here. Pop a CD in, and that CD will pop up right there. You simply click the drive, reading disc, the disc will pop up, push play, listen to CDs. There you go. It's easy. Of course, I have no CDs in there right now, but see, now they have a lot of stuff. It's really nice if I get my radio station on there. I really would like to get my radio station on there. All right, now if you have other devices, do you have for example, like an MP3 player or an iPod, you could plug those in. If you plug one of those in, click devices, and that will show up right there in the Winamp library. Bookmarks. Anything you really, really like, you want to save, bookmark it right there. Things you played before will show up here. Podcast directory is right here. Any podcast subscriptions you have will show up all right here. You could save your favorite podcasts in here. Now your local library. You have your audio library. You have your video library. This can also be used as like kind of like a player / organizer. So you can actually listen to stuff on here if you want to. Of course, I'm not going to play anything because of copyright issues. They're bastards like that. Them with their goddamn copyright shit. Can't do anything about it, guys. Anyway, we have so much stuff here. Lots of stuff. Now, they also have a way where you can tweak the audio a little bit. Now, I only recommend you play with this if you have more than one speaker or more than just a set of headphones. If you have two really nice sized speakers hooked up, really good sized speakers, quality speakers, then I recommend you play with the graphic equalizer here, because getting it just right would make the sound unbelievable. Having a graphic EQ is perfect, absolutely perfect. And Winamp is one of the few that actually still has this. Few media players will actually have this. Winamp always had this. Always had a graphic equalizer. If you know how to use it, this thing is brilliant. You can even load presets that people save. Back in the old days, people used to save presets. For example, I can make a preset for Radiance Radio Online. If I make a preset for Radiance Radio Online and I save it and people download it on their website, what they can do is click presets, load, preset, and I choose a file, and it'll automatically adjust the equalizer based off of Radiance Radio Online that I set up ahead of time. I can do that. I haven't done that yet because we have way too much music. See, now, if we were a rock station, I would set the equalizer for rock music, but we play everything, so I can't really change it. I can't really set the equalizer because if I do, certain songs will sound amazing and certain songs will sound like shit. So it's up to you to set that according to what you like. That's what it's there for. All right? So that's a little touch base on Windows Media Player Legacy and Media Player for Windows, where it's going and what's happening with it, and a little touch base on some of the players that I introduced in Radiance Radio Online that I really didn't get a chance to go over the logistics of them. Especially Winamp, because Winamp is brand new. They just came back. And by the way, I want to tell you, Winamp is no longer owned by the company that used to own it. Softonic is the new company that owns Winamp. So I think it was called Nullsoft? I think it was called Null something owned it before. It was called Null something. And Winamp wanted to replace Windows Media Player one day. That's why he called it WinAmp. because they were hoping that this would be the default media player for Microsoft Windows. And you know what? If this was the default player for Microsoft Windows, it would never be changed ever. I'm telling you, because this media player is one of the best players I've ever seen in my entire life. It plays audio, it plays video, it plays everything, and it organizes it so well. I love it. I love this player. I've always loved this player. And I'm not just saying this. This player is organized so well. So, anyway, guys, I've been gabbing on and on for about an hour, so I'm going to wrap up by saying keep an eye on the media players you have on your computer, and I ask you, please, do not depend on any of the Microsoft ones, because Media Player and Media Player Legacy, you can't depend on them. Find one that you like, whether it be Winamp, Real Player, Music B, VLC, whether it be any of these players. Any of these players at all, whether it be any of these players. Make sure you have an alternative that can handle everything. Winamp and Music B can handle everything. Real Player is more of a player than an organizer. VLC is more of a player than an organizer. Winamp and Music B are organizers. They can organize your music better. So you have players and organizers. Windows Media Player Legacy was an organizer. Media Player is a player, not an organizer, a player. So they always have two different types of media players. You have an organizer and a player. Organizers can take your music and you can add all the details to your music, whether it be cover arts, song titles, artist names, information about the title that you enjoy, want to toss in there. Maybe where the artist came from, how the song was written. Whatever details you want to add to that song, you can. Just so you don't forget, you know. A lot of good organizers will have categories on songs that say other. That allows you to put stuff that really nobody really give a shit about, but you care about. So, when you're looking at programs, make sure you look very carefully at the program and how it saves the song titles. Make sure you're looking at all the categories it has. Make sure all of them are there. Make sure artist is there. Make sure album title is there. Make sure the length of the song is there. A bonus would be if they have a star rating. So you could rate you could have a star rating based off of whether you like it and what degree do you like it. That would be helpful if they had that as well. They don't have to have it, but it would be very helpful. I know Windows Media Player Legacy used to have that star rating. That's the one thing I did like about the Legacy player back in the old days. It had that star rating system where you were able to rate the songs by star ratings. So you could play any songs that were 5-star rated songs. You could play all your music, 5-star rated music at the same time. They became playlists. They became their own playlists based off the star ratings. That's what Legacy Music Media Player did. And I really did enjoy that. The fact that it did that. I enjoyed that little detail they added in there. Now, the new media player, no, you cannot do that. No. Any of the startings, nothing carries over. It just saves it as a normal song, artist title, album, that's it. Not even the cover art will transfer over. It will just show up. It'll show up the default cover art that you saved to it. When you click it, nothing shows up. That's it. It sucks, but you know what? You can't do anything about it. It is what it is, guys. There's a lot of things that you don't realize that there's a lot of things happening you don't really realize is going to happen. And it kind of sucks. If you really think about it, it sucks. But you have to realize that computers have gone in a completely different direction over the years. Processors have gotten faster. RAM chips have gotten bigger. Hard drives have gotten significantly larger. Your audio cards are gone. Your video card is now doubling as an audio card as well. Your video card can do audio and video at the same time. Why? Because the NVIDIA card has a chipset embedded onto the bottom of the video card. So it does audio and video at the same time. So that's why it's very important you update your video card drivers, because your audio in your computer is run by the video card. So make sure you have a very good video card on your computer at all times, because that video card has to do double duty at all times, guys. That video card is showing you what you want to see and making you hear what you want to hear. Without that video card working right, your computer is completely screwed. So when you're buying a brand new computer, make sure you have a top of the line video card. Top of the line. Because they no longer have audio cards in computers. They're gone. If you have a laptop, most likely, if it's a mini laptop or like one of those little palm top things, palm tops don't have video cards or audio cards. They have chipsets embedded onto the there's chipsets soldered onto the motherboard. The motherboard is this. Let me see if we can hopefully find a picture of a motherboard. I think I have one. Hold on, let's see. I know I have a background image of a motherboard somewhere. Let's see if we can. Hold on. I'm looking through my wallpapers right now. I'm trying to see if we can find anything. Okay, here we go. Ready? Inside your computer, you're going to see something like this. All circuit boards are green. Now, you're going to see a lot of this stuff. All this stuff is important. If any of this is damaged, something in that computer is not going to work. Now, what these are... Hold on, let me show you something. That was a better example. This is a much older computer. Computers back in the old days used to have motherboards that look like this. Newer computers do not have motherboards like this. These are very old school. You could obviously tell by the way everything's soldered in. So things are not soldered in to fit a certain space. They're just soldered in just to make them work. And that's it. Yeah, they worked, but they weren't small. They weren't thin. They weren't small. They weren't thin, compact, you know? It didn't exactly fit everything. The computer tower had to be huge to fit some of the motherboards and some of the video cards that didn't do anything. I mean, they had a video card that just played video, and that's it. It was twice the size of an NVIDIA, a brand new NVIDIA. It's 2 times the size. Now, you're probably saying to me, how is that possible? It is possible, and it is something. Let me see if I can locate an example or a photograph of an original card, the original old card. Let me see if I can find an audio card from the XP days. Let's see. Okay, now we have our audio cards. Back when computers had audio cards, they looked like that. Get them away. Look like that. Now, the motherboard had the connectors built in. So all you had to do is had this faced on the outside of the computer. You'd put gloves on your hands and push it down into the motherboard on those connectors that are built in to the motherboard. Make sure this is facing on the outside of the computer. And then you had to do what's called install a driver. Now, drivers you couldn't just get off the internet because there was no internet. So you had to get them off of floppy disks or CD drives or whatever. Something like that or something like that. Just grab the drivers right off the disk, off the 3 1/4 inch floppy, or just grab it off the CD. Install the driver, and it worked. Done. There was no such thing as plug and play. You had to install a driver in order for it to work. These days, 95% of the equipment is plug and play. As long as you have internet, it's plug and play. The companies that make the programs, if you're connected to the internet, it automatically the hardware automatically sends a signal to the company. Hey, we have one of your products plugged in. We need a driver for it. Okay. Send the driver information to Microsoft. Microsoft recognizes that based off the information it received, and it looks for drivers for it. And the hardware gives it the base drivers, installs the base drivers so it works. Now it's up to you to go to the website and update the new drivers that they have for it. Because hardware will have updates periodically, software updates. That hardware will not get updated. The software that runs the hardware will have to get updated. So naturally, you'll have to update the drivers on the internet. Now, if you use a dial-up internet back in the old days, that was very much a pain in the ass. So you just popped in the driver, use the driver that was there. That was it. If it didn't work, you bought a brand new one. That's it. That's what we did back in the old days. That's what we did back in the we'll say back in the Wild Wild West. How about that? Back in the Wild West, you either use those to install drivers or you use that. If you didn't have this or this was a paperweight and it did absolutely Jack and his friend. Nothing. You cannot get any information off of this. You cannot. This has no information built into it. You can go to Windows and try to install a basic driver. Like you could just select a basic audio driver and hope to God it works. But if you want the exact driver for that, you have to download it from the website or get the CD or floppy disk. These days you pop it in and automatically downloads the driver. Automatically. There's no doubt in my mind. See, but nowadays these don't exist. Nowadays your NVIDIA video card has audio, this is built into a NVIDIA video card. So your video card is doing the job of an audio card and a video card both rolled into one. So your video card had better have the cooling system built into it because it's doing the job of two devices. Don't forget that. That video card is doing the video card's job plus it's doing this job. That's a lot of work for one device. It's only one device and it's doing all that work. It's a lot. It really and truly is a lot. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a video card. Trying to think of an old video card. Maybe I'll show you guys a new one. Well, it wasn't called a video card, it was called a graphics card. So, back in the old days, they were called graphics cards. They were not called video cards, they were called graphics cards. These are video cards, or otherwise known as GPUs. They're called video cards or GPUs. This is what's called a graphics card. Graphics cards are simply, they show you pictures and that's it. They're built to show you only pictures. See if we can find the right hardware I'm looking for without having to type it in. No, I can't find it. That's fine. We'll just move on. Anyway, computers have come a long way. And over the years, you've been forced to take your favorite PC and toss it in the garbage and buy a new one. Probably wondering why. Well, I'll explain to you guys why right now. Let's say you buy a Pentium 3. You guys probably remember the Pentium 3s, right? The Pentium 3s with MMX, that really brand new technology Intel came up with. MMX capabilities. Intel made an MMX chip for the first time in their Pentium 3s. That was a really big deal at the time because that was the very first Intel chip that was able to do multitasking abilities. For example, let's say you want to put this program on. And then you want to have this program run at the same time. In order to do that, that CPU has to have MMX abilities, has to have multitasking abilities. Your CPU has to have the ability to start this, and this at the same time. All the stuff you're looking at right here has to be started up by the CPU. And the RAM in your computer is what keeps all of this running. All of this stays on the screen because you have RAM in your computer. Random access memory is what keeps all of this stuff on your screen right now. If you don't have enough RAM, you can't run all at the same time. So when you're buying a new computer, I can't stress this enough. Never stinge out on the RAM. Never stinge out on the CPU. Never stinge out on the hard drive. Your video card does the job of two things, audio and video. Do not stinge out on that either. Make sure all of those are top notch. If those are all top notch, you're going to have a computer for a very long time. It'll last maybe 3 or 4 operating system upgrades. The third or fourth operating system upgrade, the computer will start to slow down. That happens. Start removing stuff little by little. Start multitasking less. Start putting less on the screen. Start taking stuff like this off. Start taking stuff like this off. Stop doing multitasking abilities and only do one thing at a time on the screen, and that's it. As your computer gets older and it's less capable, make sure you do less make sure you're doing less at the same time and not more. Because when your computer is doing more at the same time, it's going to stress the computer out. It's going to heat it up, and heat is your computer's worst enemy. Heat is what ruins a computer. All right, guys. Heat is the #1 killer of a computer. When your computer runs hot, the entire computer freaks out completely. That is your worst enemy. You have to make sure your computer stays cool at all times, even if it means you have to make sure your CPU has a cooler and your GPU has a cooler. If you live in a hot, warm climate like I do, I have liquid coolers on both the CPU and the GPU both. Because my environment around me is extremely warm. Even in the wintertime, it gets warm here. So you have to keep the computer cool at all times. In order to do that, you need a liquid cooler. Now, if you live in a cold climate, heat is not your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is going to be dust. For some reason, cold climates, computers get more dusty in cold climates. My suggestion to you is, I don't know what they're called, but they look like a blower fan. Like a handheld blower fan has attachments. Sometimes you can find them on eBay. Sometimes you can find them on eBay, or you can find them on computer websites. They look like these little floor fans with attachments to attach the nozzle. Take the side panel off the computer, plug it in, start blowing air inside the computer, and you'll see dust flying out all over the place. Get all the dust flying out of the blow all the dust out of the computer. As soon as you do that, put the side panel back on, turn the computer back on, your computer will run cooler. When your computer builds up dust in it, it gets hotter. If you have a laptop, make sure you have one of those fans and you blow the inside of the laptop out. Make sure you take off as many panels as you can and start blowing stuff all over blowing air in every open pound you can think of. If you can do that, you're fine. It's frustrating, I know. It's confusing, I know. But this is something that's very, very important. It's very important to do this, very important to know what you're doing. Because this could mean your computer lasting 1 year or 30 years. If you take care of your computer, you make sure your computer has everything it needs to survive, you will have that computer for 30 years or more. All you have to do is take care of it. If anything needs an upgrade, make sure it gets it. If you need a RAM upgrade, make sure you upgrade the RAM. If you need a hard drive upgrade the hard drive. Now, if your video is getting kind of choppy and your audio is not showing up right, get a new video card. Now, if starting stuff up on your computer it becomes a problem, you might want to upgrade your RAM and look into getting a new CPU. Or look into getting a cooler for your CPU. Because it could be the CPU is just fine. It's just running hot. Now, if your video card or your CPU starts not running right, first thing you do is put a cooler, a really good solid cooler, top rated cooler on the CPU and on the video card. First, try that first before you replace it. If that doesn't work, then you might have to replace either one. So that's all I can suggest to you. All right, guys, and that should be it. That's it for this Friday. Please, I beg you, please like, subscribe, comment down below. I beg you, please. I need subscribers so badly, not even funny. If you can find it in your heart to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Share the videos if you like my videos. Share them with your friends. That's fine too. Go for it. I really do appreciate this, guys. I really could use all your help. Thank you very much for watching. I will be doing a live stream on Sunday night. Probably about 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you want to check me out, I'll be on PlayStation 4. PlayStation Network on PlayStation 4. If you want to check me out there, I'll be doing a live stream there. Otherwise, if you don't want to, it will stream to YouTube. You can watch it whenever you want to. I do live streams every Sunday night at 8 o'clock on PlayStation Network. Otherwise, if you don't want to watch it live, that's totally fine too. Because on YouTube, I will not see YouTube comments until tomorrow. Now, if you are on PlayStation Network and watching it, I'll know you're watching it. But if you leave a comment, I won't be able to read. I don't know if I'll be able to read your comment, but it will show that I have a comment, that you left a comment. Now, nobody has commented on my videos for PlayStation Network before, so I don't know if they show up on the screen or not. I mean, while I'm live, nobody's watched me live while I was live on PlayStation Network, so I don't know. A lot of people have commented on the videos after the fact, and I've answered them. I've answered all their comments. So again, if you watch my videos and you comment, I will reply. If I see them, I will reply. I guarantee you. If I don't see them, I won't reply because it's not that I'm ignoring you or being an asshole. I didn't see your comment. I'm sorry. It doesn't always let me know when someone's left a comment. If you subscribe and you like the video, I'll see the video had a like and I'll immediately check for comments. That's why I always tell everybody to like, subscribe. Any video that gets likes automatically gets flagged and sent to me. Any video that does not get a like but gets a comment, I won't even know you commented. That's why if you leave a comment, you have to hit a like, and if you're not subscribed, you have to subscribe. Because for some reason YouTube chooses not to show me these things, and that sucks. And to go through each and every video from scratch one at a time is extremely time consuming. But I really do need to go through all that one of these days and start replying to videos that didn't like, and I need to start looking for comments, because if I don't reply, I'm never going to get credit for that comment. And the whole way YouTube does their thing is confusing. I don't even know myself. So I'm still a newbie with this. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for sticking around. This has been Geek Shit. So hope you guys enjoyed this video on Windows Media Player and Media Player and what their future looks like in the future. I hope you enjoyed. Hope this video was somewhat enlightening. If you're not sure about why they existed and you're sure now, I did my job. Thank you very much for watching. Have a very nice day. See you guys later. Again, see you on Sunday.